the hard way versus the easy way. I have been dying to do this channeling for you all, to explore the different ways where right now in the world, I'm sure we can all feel there's this shift that is going on, this template shift that is shifting and changing in the world, where humans are operating, or they're feeling that there's this shift to operate in a new way. And so in today's, I right now have the Akashic Records open, and we will dive into the two paradigms around the hard way, which quite honestly, a lot of us have been taught this is the first way of doing life. And then there's the easy way, which many of us are feeling this openness, this curiosity of like, I think that I might have had some of these things backwards a little bit. And so we wanted to first disclose that within the hard versus the easy way, there is no right or wrong. You're not 100% into the hard, and you're not 100% into the easy. There are these different layers that you start to unlock and unveil to be able to help set yourself free. And the more that we're doing, we like want to remind you that when we are looking at the hard versus the easy, it's not about what we are doing out in the world, but instead it's how we interact within ourselves. And it's the within that we set ourselves free. Okay, so let's dive into it. First off, we wanted to break down a little bit more of the hard way. So what we have come from in this world. And there is this little like cosmic hilarity that is playing on in my mind where like, we're just like, we're getting a little bit of laughs and snickers where it's like us humans have come into earth, and you can see yourself like being born into your family. And it's like human versus human, like raising another human. And time again, we can see from all the generations, us humans have been so mind heavy. So we want to master the brain. We want to master the mind. And there's also been this big like focus around ego, but around information and understanding how really the brain works. And for over all of these years and all these generations, the mind and the brain has been this big mystery. Psychology, you can go down the different rabbit holes where the mind has been the big mystery. And when the mind is the big mystery, or whatever is the mystery in the world, people put all of their energy into trying to master it. It's like man's job of, I want to be alpha, I want to master the thing that is most mysterious in the world. And over all the years, that has been the mind. And so we can see how us popping out of the womb into our family are the generation on generation, everyone has said, prime your mind with being able to compute information and store more information inside of it, and learn more information in a really quick way and gather more information. Because if we want to take a look at where our families have come from, they have come from spaces where information was not abundant like it is today. We can take a look just a generation or two back. For myself, I look back at my grandma who had all of her encyclopedia books next to herself. And it's like that information was what she had access to. And so you take a look, and you can look back 1 generation, 2 generations, 3 generations, and so on, and take a look at how much the information era is now awoken today, and how much more ease we have to be able to play with the information that we have access to. And so there is the cosmic hilarity, the laughter is coming back in, of kind of laughing at humans, of being like, okay, guys, yes, this has been the hard way because you have been conditioning your mind that you must have all the information, you must get it right, and you must like know these things and be like so certain. The knowing is like the information that's coming back in, where it's like, yes, we gather information for what purpose? We gather it to know and to have this aspect of 100% certainty. And you know what? With that 100% certainty, what happens? We hear this little laughter come up. Ha 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 ha. You wanted 100% certainty? Guess what? Nothing is guaranteed. And if you really want certainty, you know what you'll do? Go live under a rock. That's certain for you. But So they're showing this as a little side tangent of just the hard way, like how hard it can really be is when we get so consumed of like, we must know this and we must know that. And we get so trapped into the information that's where our mind starts to really loop onto and latch onto of like this craving of, I have to know more information. There has to be something that has to fit into this piece. I need this, I need that. And so we got on this hunger and this addiction and this obsession to knowing more stuff and to almost being like, I need the missing piece to the puzzle. And they're like, nah. You don't need the missing piece. You don't need any more information, but you need to move that information out into the world. You need to start to test it a little bit more. You need to start to break it down, and maybe it will work for you. Maybe it won't work for you. But if you're saying I'm missing a piece, we're inviting you. There's an easier way to go about this, because you can be addicted. You can be stuck on the loop of like, I need more information, but they're like, that's only going to get you so far. If you're saying I need more information, what you're saying is I'm also addicted to control. I'm addicted to certainty. And that's where you truly are choosing the hard path. So you're like, I must know, this step must go. And they're like, yeah, it must go, which is also why you're stuck here and you're asking for the next step. And we still can't give you the next step because you're asking for the hard way. And so, I'm lacking info, yes. And so we can see how the addiction loop just gets sucked into it. And they're showing me even like how we can be addicted to sugar or to caffeine or to any of these things. It's like when you fuel that environment, then you, if it's like all or nothing, it's like they're even showing me like Coke, where it's like a drug addict. Like if you need something, then that's all you're going to look for. And we start to get on this track where we become like so lasered in that we miss how other things and other layers are working with us. So we also want to bring up, we're still on the hard track. And when we're on this loop, we're so stuck in the mind. And like the mind is looping. And once again, we're like tunnel vision of like, we must have the information. We must be able to go there. Like, show me the way, show me the way, show me the way. And so we have our blinders on, we're in our mind, we're like, give me the piece to the puzzle. And what is going on at this moment is we are also closing ourselves from other opportunities that are coming in. So like life is constantly being like, hey, we just dropped that new friend in. Hey, we dropped the new opportunity. And hey, we dropped this in. Hey, we dropped that in. And that's like the easy way trying to interact with us. And we're like, no. That doesn't fit into the puzzle piece in my mind that my mind was looking for. Nope, please don't present that to me. And life is like, we're going to keep dropping them your way. And like, maybe one day you're going to get it that like, there's an easier way to go about these things. But you're really set on going the hard way. Like, we have faith in you, but you are really set and gung-ho that things must be the hard way. So we're just going to let you be your own thing and do your own way. Like, job well done. But maybe one day things will drop in. So now we want to drop you and we want to start to introduce you to the way that things can be easier. Ta-da. Let's take a little breath. The ease. So like we said with the hard, it's all up in the head. The ease happens when we start to have this life experience be a full body experience. When we are allowing ourselves to take the information and not just have the information stay on a looping track in our mind, but instead we say the information has to be embodied. It wants to be integrated into the full body. And while humans may be still so obsessed with like, I need the next piece, this is where it stays in the mind and it doesn't drop in. And so we bring this up because when the information drops into the body, what it allows you to do is it allows you to drop into confidence and into trust. And these two currencies, these two energies, are things that allow you as a human to believe in all of yourself. And they're like, all we want on the easy path is for you to believe in yourself and to believe in the connection, the network that you are attached to in this world. You're not here doing this alone by any means or any measure. None of it. But when you are allowing yourself to be able to drop into all of your body, it's like we see you standing up taller. We see you believing more in yourself, believing in that network that you are connected and strapped into in this world. And this is where it's less of a seeking. It's less of a like, we need more to consume more information, but instead it becomes an exhale, a trusting, a weaving, where you trust that the information is coming to you. You don't have to seek it. You trust that the people are coming to you. You connect with the people as you need to. And it becomes this network collaborative experience, which is where we want to layer in the fact that ease comes when you don't just rely on yourself, but when you can trust and open up to others in other ways. The ease comes when you allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to trust in others, to say, hey, maybe life is done a little bit better together. Hey, maybe there is an easier way to go about this. And maybe it's just not with me. And so we want to bring up this next part around the information in the easier way is when we are working with information, because information is valuable. It's valuable in all ways and all forms, but it's most valuable when we can see and find this balance in this dynamic, so that we are not so ingrained in the details or being like, I need this missing piece to the puzzle, but instead what we can do is we can use information as pattern tracking to say, let's take a look at the zoom out, the macro, and then let's also zoom in to the micro when we need it as well. And so it's this aspect of zooming out and zooming in that feels like we dance with information rather than having things feel so rigid. And so the difference with the hard way is that life feels so much more rigid that that's where we're attracted to the control. We're attracted to the I need the missing piece. Things have to go this way. And we get so hooked into the practicality of things that we start to miss the whole grand picture of where things want to be able to shift us into. We're like, it has to be this way, and I must go this way, so let's go that way. Versus hey, we're getting little nudges here and there. We're being pushed and guided. And we might not know where the path is going to take us, but that's the point of life, is to discover where is this life going to take me? And so it's in these moments that we're noticing that the hardness versus the ease. The ease is the trusting. It's saying yes to the unknowns. It's saying yes to uncertainty. It's saying yes to there might be less information out there, but I think I can lean in. I don't know where this is going to take me, but this life isn't a guarantee for me, but instead it's a discovery process because I don't know what lives within me. So we're here to be able to play truly in the ease way, where we don't have the guarantees, but we do have the aspect that we are meant to be able to play with ourselves and play with life and see what comes up. And then once something comes up, the thing that comes up is information. So once we make a decision in our life, once we take a left turn, we say, okay, this person walked into our path. How does this person now fit into my life? What new opportunities come my way? And this is where we are deeply met at the present moment. And the presence is where we then get to be able to build ourselves upon that level to be able to then grow and grow and grow. So we want to sum this up because this has been a lot of information and we want to bring this into a little bit practical terms for you. The practical tips to be able to help shift yourself into ease is to, first off, we're seeing the full body embodiment and alignment. It's an activation of all of your energy. So while we can keep our energy really active up here, if your mind is feeling really stressed and burnt out of enough is enough, a lot of information. We're inviting you to start to invoke and invite the information into your body, whether that is through embodiment practices like dancing, moving, breath work. This is where the meditation practices, things that can help you shift the information into the body, and you can be more sensory aware of how you show up. This is the embodiment practices. There's a bundle of different things out there. Feel free to go Google. Shaking is one that is coming to my mind. The list is limitless. Either way, importance to be able to get the information not from just your mind, but into your body. The next thing is to be able to start to zoom out of life, of how you interact with information. So start to notice, do you prefer micro information, like the details? Like you're like, but I just need this one piece. Like this project is so close, but I just need I just need the signature there, or I just need that person there. If you're so zoomed in on the details, they're laughing at you, they're nudging you. And they're saying, zoom out. We want for you to be able to take a look at the macro that's going on right now. If the detail isn't fully there yet, that you can't see, maybe there is a macro invitation for you. Maybe there's a pattern for you to look at. Maybe there's something bigger going on here. So we're asking you to be able to take a look at the patterns that are in your life and interact with information in a different way, so that you don't become stuck in the information, but instead you can be an outsider observing the information that is going on at a whole. This also keeps you very empowered with your information, so that you don't, this is how we can get lost to fear mongering, is if we're so consumed in the details, someone says something, we get triggered and we're like, oh my God, I knew it. I'm fearful, and now I have to run this way. This is where you become like a user of the information. And we can see also how social media does this as well. So like, notice your relationship to information. Macro versus micro. That was the whole gist of that one there. The next and final piece that we want to bring forth is around emotions. And this is one that is so near and dear. And this is a huge tool. So part of the easy way is we're learning how to be able to use our human body as a full body tool. Not just a mind, and not just a body that is able to do physical work like running or building houses. We are using our human body as a full body tool to be able to tap into the network of other humans and to the earth and to the planet. And so we're using our body as a tool. And in this aspect, we get to use our emotions, which our emotions are it's energy in motion that is stuck and also moving through our body in different ways. Our emotions are a signal for us. And so when our body and our emotions are signaling things to us, we are inviting you to be able to use that information, it's part of information, as a tool to be able to process, to move the information in your body. So by processing the information in your body, that's by like crying, that's by purging, that's by screaming, that's by doing things in a way that is very healthy and safe to you. But the more that you move the body, the emotion, the information around your whole body, you start to receive these little momentary hits of clarity and confidence and trust. So if you've ever noticed at the end of a really good sickness, at the end of a really good cry, at the end of a really good purge, when you're suddenly like, oh, I'm a hot mess right now, but I finally feel like I've cracked the code. I know what I want. I know that this relationship ends. I know that this job is at the end of its roads. I know that I need to say yes to this thing that scares me a lot. But at the end of that cry, that sickness, whatever it is, that breaking moment, you're hit with that aha. I know which direction I need to go. And so we're using that last piece of information. This is how your emotions can really click in for your body, is to push to allow those emotions to come up. We don't want you to say push. We want you to allow them, because when you're not allowing them, you're resisting them, you're pushing them down, you're keeping them in the body. And that's what feels like heaviness to you. So we're allowing them to come up, to be processed. And then once you get to that point, there becomes this information that clicks into your body, which comes up as confidence and clarity and trust. And you may not have all of the pieces in the puzzle detailed, worked out, but what you do have is you have this level of knowing in yourself of which direction you need to go. Once you have that knowing, you can then start to ask for more ways that life is interacting with you. You're saying like, okay, now that I know this is the direction, can you please show or bring other people or other opportunities into my way? And this is where, when we get to look at the other side of things, going back to information, is we get to tie in the macro and the micro information together to help us work with, like, we process our emotions, we want to call more layers in, we start to do this like toggling effect of like, okay, now that we're on the easy path, we're not just taking information, we're not suppressing the emotions, but we're using the whole body and the whole experience of life, and we're bringing that to online. So that was the hard versus the easy way. The truth be told, it's the big synopsis they want to hear is that this is a constant evolution that we will be going through over the next big chunk of time, but ultimately they're like, this is kind of your life's work, is the awareness that drops in of like, I'm on the hard path and there's an easier way of doing things. And so they're like, the awareness is the first step for you. Become aware of when you're like, enough is enough. I'm overwhelmed by information. They're like, great, once you hear that, you know that it's time to be able to drop things into your body. You know that it's time to take yourself for a walk, or to cry, or to dance, to move things around and drop information into your body. And ultimately, all of this is a way for us to be able to work with information and work with our emotions in a way that turns our whole body on and brings us into reality, into a deeper and more powerful way. When we turn this energy on within ourselves, we start to lead with this confidence that becomes unshakable, that becomes powerful. It's when you enter a room, people are like, who is that? It's okay that you're on the hard path. The awareness, like I said, awareness is the first step. Most people are on the hard path, and I am on the hard path in different ways. And this is a constant reprogramming. There's different levels and different layers. So if you want to take a look, it's a spectrum. It's a percentage. It's like we can be 100% on the hard path, and those people, we can feel it and eat it. Like they eat the hardness. They eat the information for breakfast. Yet the fact that you're on this video already means that you're somewhere along here. So anyways, all this to be said, the hard path and the easy path is a constant life evolution. And the more that we drop into the soul, the more that we drop into ourselves, the more that we drop into our body, the more that life starts to become easier and lighter and more fluid. And this is where everyone in the world will be shifting to, whether you believe it or not. People are shifting there. It's just all part of the growth trajectory. And if we need more evidence, we'll have more evidence with more Instagram lives to come, as I love nerding out about the patterns of where the world is really growing and shifting to on an energetic basis. So with that being said, I also do offer one-on-one sessions to be able to help drop you more into your soul purpose and soul mission. And sessions also to be able to help you work deeper with your emotions and what signals are coming up in reality for you. So one-on-one sessions are available, and also I do mentorship of month-long packages to really take you to that next level in your body and in your life. Promise you it will be a month that you will not forget. So now, love you all. Chat soon. Thank you for being here today. Okay, farewell.